Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of Rebbetzin Chaya Mushka, the wife of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. She passed away on the 22nd of Shevet in 1988. And along with being the daughter of the previous Chabad Rebbe, the Rebbe Rayatz, she was the partner in any campaign and action the Rebbe undertook. The Rebbetzins' immense holiness, wisdom, and kindness profoundly impacted all those who had the opportunity to meet her. And although they unfortunately did not have any children, the Rebbetzin viewed all the Hasidim as their own children and took great pride in their accomplishments. In her merit, may we experience the ultimate redemption and the coming of Mashiach. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the birthdays of Yoram and Yael Cohen. May Hashem bless them and their entire family with happiness, health, and success. This week's Parsha Perspective is also in honor of the Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai ben Shoshanna and Shaul ben Berta. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Yisro, Seeing Through the Noise. Our Parsha has the Aseres Hadibros, the 10 Commandments, making it one of the most significant portions of the Torah. God himself came down to Sinai, to Mount Sinai, and said the 10 Commandments and confirmed that we are his chosen nation. Just 6 weeks after leaving Egypt, the Jewish nation arrived at the foot of Sinai, of Mount Sinai. Moshe instructed them to purify themselves for 3 days in preparation for the giving of the Torah. They must not approach or touch Sinai, for it is holy and pure, and only Moshe and Aaron were allowed to be on the mountain. On the morning of the 3rd day, there was heavy thunder and lightning as Hashem's Shekhinah, Hashem's essence, descended upon the mountain. God himself said the Aseres Hadibros, the 10 Commandments, to the frightened and terrified Jewish nation. They turned to Moshe and begged him to act as an intermediary, for God's holy and divine words were more than they could physically handle. Moshe responded, Al tira'u ki levar na'ases eschem ba elikim, uba'avur tiyeh yirasai al panechem levilti sechato. Don't fear, for he has shown you himself, so you shall fear him and not sin. However, a question comes to mind. Just after the giving of the Aseres Hadibros, the 10 Commandments, the Torah recounts what the Jewish people experienced at Sinai, at Mount Sinai. And the whole nation saw the noise, the thunder and the lightning, the eis kol ha-shofar, and the sound of the shofar, v'esa'or ha'ashan, and the smoke coming from the mountain. But why does the Torah write the whole nation, Ra'im esakoles, saw the noise, rather than write the whole nation heard the noise, Shemea esakoles? Why does it use saw instead of heard when it's talking about hearing noise? The Rashbam, Rav Shmuel ben Meir, one of Rashi's grandchildren, answers this question by explaining that it's just a figure of speech. He quotes multiple places in the Torah that uses the verb see to indicate and convey that the individual was listening to what was being told to them. Similarly, we use the expression, I see where you're saying, or I see where you're coming from. And this indicates that we understand what is being explained. And since the Torah is written and how we, the human beings, speak, it makes sense for it to write the whole nation, Ra'im esakoles, saw the noise. However, the Rabbeinu Bechaya, Rav Bachya ben Asher, a Spanish commentary, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He, amongst others, write that at Sinai, at Mount Sinai, the Jewish nation actually saw the sound waves of God's holy and divine voice. God said to Moshe Rabbeinu that he himself will come down to this lowly world to proclaim his love for the Jewish nation. As the pasuk writes, "Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, hine anochi ba elecha ba'av ha'anon ba'avur yishma ha'am b'dabri imach v'gam b'cha yaminu l'olam." And God said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I will come to you in a thick cloud so that the people may hear when I speak with you and trust you there forever. The Rabbeinu Bechaya explains that God revealed himself in such a visible manner that every single Jew can intimately experience his holiness. And this experience was so profound that their physical bodies could not handle that spiritual exposure and causing their souls, their neshama, to return to God twice, hence forcing the Jewish nation to ask Moshe Rabbeinu to be an intermediary between them and God. And Rav Sadia Gaon, one of the most well-known scholars from the era of the Gaonim, which is circa 600 CE to 1040 CE, adds that this is why the pasuk ends, Vayira'am, Vayanu, Vayamdu Merachik. And when they saw it, they became afraid and stood from a distance. For God removed his normal cover that conceals his holy and spiritual existence in this physical world. In our daily life, we should practice the art form known as active listening. Rather than think about what to speak about next when someone else is directly talking to us, we need to close our minds and open up our hearts. Implementing this practice enables us to not only listen to what others are saying, but to recognize the hidden meaning behind the words, to see the true message they are trying to convey. And some of the ways to implement active listening is to actually pay attention to what others are saying. We should not use our phones or anything else to distract us from the conversation. Maintain eye contact and nod when it's appropriate to show your attentiveness. A major benefit of active listening is that the person who is speaking becomes more comfortable and eager to say what they really mean. And following these tips will avoid the feeling that happens when someone at the end of a long conversation asks, "Nu, what do you think?" There is an amazing quote that I read. Listening does not always equate to hearing. Hearing does not always lead to understanding, but active listening helps each person truly see the other. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.